In every high school, there's always that one kid, quiet, awkward, invisible to the world, but overflowing with feelings he doesn't know how to express in, for Andrey. That invisible universe begins the night he walks into a crowded house party where music vibrates through. The walls and teenagers sway like they refloating through someone else's dream, because across the room, under dim lights, and surrounded by a glow only infatuation can create, stands Ramona, the girl who turns his heartbeat into a nervous drum solo. He stares at her, frozen, calculating the perfect opening line he'll never say. Until his friend Sylvie shoves a banana in his hand like it's the key to unlocking destiny and pushes him forward. But the pressure is too much, and instead of confidently walking up to her, he panics and heads straight to the bathroom, only to find a horrifying mess that kills any spark of bravery he had left. And when he returns, cheeks burning with embarrassment, Ramona is waiting. But before he can speak, someone loudly announces what he discovered in the bathroom. And the entire party erupts in disgusted laughter that crushes whatever small chance he thought he had. Still, Andrey forces a smile and throws out a joke, hoping humor can heal humiliation, but deep down he knows he's sinking. Days later, they're at another party, and Andrey, still bruised in confidence, but hopeful enough to try again, sits with Sylvie and Alan, who encourage him to take another shot. And this time, nervously but determined, he approaches Ramona while she tells her friends she'd never date a virgin. But fate pushes Andrey forward anyway, and she unexpectedly begins to dance with him, pulling him into a moment that feels too fragile and too perfect to be real. They steal a private corner, the world fading around them, and Andrey, too honest, too vulnerable, confesses what he feels, and instead of welcoming his sincerity, Ramona snaps, storms off, and leaves him broken in a room filled with shadows. The next morning, his friends are brutally honest. He messed everything up, and when Sylvie suddenly starts dating Ramona, Andrey feels betrayal stabbing deeper than heartbreak. An argument turns violent, and with one punch, Sylvie knocks Andrey out, leaving their friendship shattered on the floor. Desperate for escape, Andrey joins his mother on a short vacation where he meets Ramona, a blonde receptionist, whose smile feels like a reset button on life. They walk along the beach, the ocean whispering against the sand. And even though she casually mentions having a boyfriend, they give in to a fleeting kiss under the sunset, a kiss that turns into a night of impulsive passion, only for Andrey to wake up hopeful and polished the next morning, discovering she has lost her job and her boyfriend is coming, instantly crushing the illusion of a possible future. Returning home feels like falling back into chaos, especially when Ramona texts him accusing Sylvie of hurting her. Panicked, he rushes to her house, only to be met with confusion, tension, and a threat to call the police if he doesn't leave. At school the next day, whispers spread like wildfire, twisted rumors fueled by Ramona Slizand. Andrey feels the world closing in on him. Even at home, his mother gently suggests Ramona might still care about him, confusing his heart even more. Trying to distract himself, he reaches out to Ramona again, telling her he found her wallet just to have an excuse to see her. They meet for coffee, laugh through the afternoon, wander into risky adventures, and end up in a bathroom where things escalate before being abruptly interrupted by a furious janitor who punches Andrey after he foolishly admits what they were doing. The next morning in the shower, he casually asks Ramona about her boyfriend, and her firm answer that she isn't leaving him forces them to end whatever fragile bond they were building, leaving Andrey alone again. He hitchhikes, wearing only a towel, a literal symbol of how stripped down his life has become. When he finally returns to school, he learns Ramona is now spreading rumors that he's secretly dating Alan. Exhausted and weighed down by drama, he ends up spending time with Carla, the only person who still trusts him. They smoke together, they talk, they share an intimate moment that leaves Andrey feeling emotionally messy and morally lost. The next day, Alan worries the rumors will destroy Andrey's reputation and helps him plan a way to win back Ramona, an idea that feels more like desperation than love. With a new haircut and a new confidence, Andrey meets Ramona at a cafe. Leans in, kisses her gently, and invites her to watch Netflix, and soon, she's obsessing over him again, panicking, overthinking, seeking Alan for advice. Together they plot revenge on Sylvie by leaving flowers and a fake love note on Carla's desk, pretending Silvio likes her. Carla hopeful and emotional. publicly accepts his interest only for Silvio to humiliate her with cruel mockery, which triggers her into exposing their past intimacy and physically attacking him in front of everyone. That night, Andrey and Ramona share wine on a church rooftop, talking quietly in the warm glow of streetlights below. They kiss, reconnect, and though Ramona hesitates and compares him to other guys, he reassures her until they end up at his house where Andrey stops things from going too far, saying nothing will happen tonight, prompting Ramona to bite his finger in frustration. By morning, she apologizes, declares she wants to be his girlfriend, and they officially start dating. But the peace doesn't last. Later that day, Ramona appears in town, and Andrey, tangled between desire and loyalty, sneaks away to meet her, even introducing her to his mother, a decision dripping with emotional confusion. When Ramona calls asking to go out, he refuses. She tries again the next night, and he refuses again, finally admitting he has chosen Ramona, shattering Ramona's heart. That evening, after sleeping with Ramona, Andrey feels certain he's made his choice. But Ramona shows up at his house crying, begging for closure, and though he comforts her gently, he ends everything for good. Time fast forwards 3 years later. Andrey is now a successful author, polished, confident, transformed into the version of himself he once dreamed of becoming. He runs into Ramona at a bar, where she confesses she still thinks about him. But Andrey, loyal to Ramona, tells her they can never be together. When he tries to leave, she insists on giving him a ride home and reveals she's engaged, though her voice cracks with emotional exhaustion. The car ride is tense, fragile, filled with confessions of how unhappy she is. And she lays her head on his lap, breaking down as he tries to stay composed. But when Andrey arrives home ready to explain everything to Ramona, his world crumbles. She's gone, leaving only a heartbreaking note on the computer. He collapses, sobbing in silence, drowning in the sudden emptiness she left behind, till something surreal happens. A voice appears, the narrator of this entire story, revealing himself as Andrey's future self, stepping out of the shadows of time to confront him. Their conversation becomes a turning point, a moment where past, present, and future collide. Future Andrey challenges him to rethink the choices that led here, to understand the weight of his decisions, and shows him glimpses of who he could have been and who he still has time to become. Together, they revisit old memories, moments he could have walked away, moments he could have spoken differently, moments he could V saved himself from heartbreak and chaos, and as Andrey watches his past unfold like a movie he can. To pause, he realizes he's finally ready to rewrite his future, empowered, awakened, and painfully aware of his past mistakes. Andrey stands up with a clarity he's never known before, ready to rebuild himself from the ashes of everything he lost and everything he learned, determined to shape the version of his life he truly wants. And as the music fades like the end of a film, the narrator, his future self, urges him forward, reminding him that this story isn't about Ramona or Ramona or Silvio. It's about the boy who finally learned how to become the man he always needed to be,